Tai Pan for Shanzai.com and sexy. Yep, that's what we're thinking about the ePad from Zinithink here, which has just come through our doors of the office this morning, and we're definitely going to be taking a good look at this for you to give some first impressions of the device.
It's not hard probably from telling by looking right at the box here that the ePad is squarely aimed at as an Apple knockoff type product, although they are knocking off the Internet Explorer IE icon as well as part of the ePad name. Why not piss off Apple and Microsoft while you're at it? Opening up the box, get inside, and yes, we have a beautiful 10-inch device here. There's not too many ARM-based tablets that are actually running on the 10-inch form factor. Those are primarily x86, but this one is, and we'll get a good look at it for you here. As you can see, it's a beautiful, very iPad-like type screen in design. Not quite as square as the iPad is, a little bit longer in length, but it's got that same nice black frame on the outside with one touch button here on the front of the device to control your functionality and returning on the iPad. Sorry, on the ePad. Even I'm getting confused. Take a look around at the device and get a look at some closer of the I/O. On the end here, you can see we've got a microphone port starting at this side. There's a nice little reset button there. Next to that, we've got the earphone plug-in. And then we've got a full-size USB connection, and you don't see that so many other devices as well, but that's also one of the nice things about this product is it's got that, but it's also got a mini USB connection beside that as well. And then of course here's the DC in for powering up your device. Looking further around the top of the device, you can see we've got the left-right rocker switch, which is quite common on the tablets. We've also got a connection here for a little proprietary dongle that allows you to connect to the Ethernet and to network your device a little bit more. We've got a dedicated power switch on top, and we've got the TF slot, which is basically the Chinese call TF is for SD card memory. So inside there you insert your little micro SD card to give some added extra memory to your device. Cruising further around the edges here, we've actually got two little holes here on the end, but they're of no particular functionality that I can tell. I would expect that those would just be for some ventilation, with a little bit of air out the other end. Going along to the bottom of the device, we actually see there's where the two speaker ports are sticking out. You can see one of those here and there. And then that would be it basically for the outside of the device until we come to the lovely back. Looks very similar to another famous product that comes from a company, starts with A, ends with UL, that designed their iPad just like that. So all in all, it's a very iPad looking design from the actual hardware on the outside. So in addition to the tablet itself, of course, in the box you've got just a few other items here. One, which is the very familiar looking earbuds here with some white with a little bit of gray connection. You might have seen some of those somewhere before, very familiar, for your headphones. And also this is the little bit of the connector to the Ethernet that we were talking about earlier. Fits in the top little I/O that we showed a little bit earlier, and connection to your Ethernet cable there, and just a user manual. And the interesting thing about this user manual is they've also added in some English for you, so it's not just in the typical Chinese, although you do have that as well. So the nice thing about the ePad is actually it's running an Android 2.1, so you're getting one of the later versions of Android. We've seen before that runs very much nicer than the 1.5 or 1.6 version, sorry. It's got the 1 GHz CPU, but it's also got 256 megabits of RAM. So that's definitely something that's to consider as well. That should improve the performance of the device quite considerably. They're advertising a 1024 by 600 resolution on the resistive touchscreen. I'm not really sure if that's really possible, but we'll take a look at that closer when we do the full review for you as well. The other spec that we're noting on there is that it's got a 2,400 milliamp battery there, so that should provide a reasonable amount of battery life, but with the bigger screen maybe we'll see how that works as well. It is a Cortex A8 ARM processor, so that's something to consider as well. And you can see after it's booted up here, we've got a slightly different look and feel to the settings button. Normally when you want to go back and look at the applications there, oh, there's a nice transition. It slides out from the side, but this one's actually just transitioning more like an Apple-like experience as it just appears in front of you. Browsing the applications area of the Android here on the device, you can see they've got your typical gallery and some music and whatnot, things preloaded on the device, of course your browser that we'll be checking. But there's also an iReader application's already been included. Probably these guys with this size of the device, again, very carefully positioning it against the iPad, but we'll also want to have that ebook reader effect. So we'll definitely try to take a look at the ebook reader functionality for you when we look closer. It's also got an Office Suite application that you can see down here that they've loaded up. So obviously there's some intention that this can be a little bit more of a productivity device than maybe some of the smaller looking tablets that we've looked at as well. As I mentioned, we're going to be taking a look at the product in more detail over the weekend while we actually play around with it and put our test content on it, see how it performs in the areas of video, web browsing, various other applications. But as an early quick look at it, just playing around with it for a few minutes, it's kind of a very exciting device. We're really curious to see how well this baby can perform. We like the big size, the look and feel of it is quite good. I'm a 7-inch form factor fan myself, but if you're into your iPad-like experience and you want something similar to that, this is probably as good as what you can get without actually buying an $800 Apple product for yourself.